Hello, my name is Martien van Houten, and I'm really happy to be able to talk to you today about one of my favorite topics, which is why would we want to fast? In other words, the motivation of the fasting. This, for me, is a key element, and I hope that through my little talk, you can follow my thoughts and that you will be able to listen to yourself and to see why would you like to fast, what would it take, and how do I make sure that I can be proud of that adventure when I do it. So I have fasted myself, and I have worked in a clinic for fasting, the Bochinger Wilhelmi Clinic, for many years. I am now retired. I am actually fasting right now. And there are many reasons to fast, and I think it is very important that you think of why you would like to fast and that you inform yourself. So there are many reasons to fast, there are many ways to fast, there are many definitions of fasting, and I know that you can get a lot of information about this, but knowing things is one thing, and really understanding it and breaking it down into your personal life is important, because otherwise, in the long run, you're not going to be at ease with yourself. Now, for the time being, I'm going to talk about preventative fasting. In other words, not specifically for a medical disorder, or for a specific aim medically, but because you or I want to fast. What it takes in the first instance is a sort of inner discussion. I have these discussions often with myself, and I try to mingle in a little bit of humor because through life, I have gotten to know myself. So you need to ask yourself, why would I like to fast? I need to feel safe within myself, that I understand the things I need to understand about fasting, about the setup, because then I can enjoy it. I won't be afraid because I will have thought of what might happen, and I will have sorted out a sort of backup system around me. Fasting, I tend to call it an adventure because it gets you out of your daily routine and it gets you out of your comfort zone. It can put you into a new comfort zone because many people feel very comfortable once they're in the fast. Getting there might be a bit of a bumpy road, which isn't important as long as you know that you're going to get into easier waters. One can say that fasting is a tool, and it means that I myself can empower myself to do something for myself. Now, this is why I love talking about this theme, because one of my interests is the question also of what is health. And health, as a definition, you can read this up, and there have been many publications about this. Health as a definition has taken a change from being not ill, which is what the WHO used to think, and then to being perfectly healthy, which is also not really very helpful, to a state of being self-controlled about the physical, the social, and the emotional challenges that can come into my life. In other words, for me, I tend to say it has something to do with empowering myself to be free. Through life, that is a long, long process, and fasting can give moments of assurance that I am capable of empowering myself. You could say health is the capacity to self-manage physical, emotional, and social challenges that come towards me through my life. So let's take a little example for this inner discussion. just quickly. You probably have better examples yourself. If I want to go for a walk, it might be because I feel I need some fresh air. It might be because somebody is asking me to come along. It might be because I have experienced that going for a little walk is good for me, especially if I'm grumpy or stiff or have been thinking too much. So I have a past experience, I have an aim, and I think of a quick setting. I look at my watch, I can see how much time I have, and I could think of a little road, a little path that I could take. And then I could go for the walk. And when I come back, I will have enhanced the positive experience, and I will have done something which out of the blue might have been getting out of my comfort zone, but which is satisfying for myself. And similarly, for the fasting, you would want to think it through before you do it. Now, fasting is not starving. I wouldn't starve myself, but I can fast, and there are many aspects and many little clips that you can listen to which demonstrate and explain the physical and emotional and even spiritual aspects of the fasting. But you want to think of what sort of fasting you want to do. It changes your habits, and in that sense also it has to do with addictive elements within my personality, and I need to know how to handle these before I go into the fast. Now, read up or inform yourself about fasting. If it is your first fast, then you might want to do it in a setting which is given. From experience, I can say it's totally possible to have a fairly good fast at home. It's no fun if you're cooking for the family. It has nothing to do with an enlightening experience if you're working at the same time. If you want to achieve those aspects, you need to go away, maybe do it in a specialized group, find inner and outer peace, and then prepare yourself physically and emotionally to let yourself go into the adventure. So my personal aim when I fast is because usually I feel I'm not getting on. I need to change something physically or emotionally. I need to answer a question within myself. And that's where changing the setting, including the physical setting and the nourishment setting, the metabolic setting, we can talk about that again in another video, really makes the difference to how the fast will turn out. I hope you understand a little bit that it is part of the adventure is to think it through and to really, really be honest with yourself. Maybe also laugh at the little things that you might think are difficult. Note them down. Feel that you are starting your own project. Don't compare, and then go for it. So, as you probably heard from the way I talk, I get really quite excited about this theme of fasting and why to fast and the motivation of fasting, and it was one of the important factors of the way I worked with my patients in the clinical setting, because I think everybody can feel satisfied and fulfilled and proud of themselves after this sort of adventure, and I love talking about it. But enough for now. Maybe we'll see each other again in another video. Thank you for listening, and please follow our channel for more information.